Okay, so in this video, we're going to write our first C program. I'm going to go and log in here. And I'm going to type in the password that was sent out to you in your messages. So I'm going to log into the server. I'm going to clear all that out. Okay. So this program that we're going to write, if you've never done computer programming before, then some of the codes are going to be a little strange at first. For those that have already done C++ in the past, then this will be very familiar to you, and it's pretty much going to be the same code. There's only a few differences between C and C++. Okay. So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check my folders real quick. And right now I don't really have anything. I just have some sort of random file here. So I'm going to create a folder for my projects. If you already have this, then don't worry about it. So I'm going to create a folder there. Alright. So now I'm in that folder, the Video Labs folder. And then I'll make another project folder, and I'm going to call this Hello World. Usually that's the name of the first program that you write in a language. It's called Hello World. So it's kind of like a newborn baby coming out for the first time. You know, kind of the concept here. And then I'm going to change directory into that Hello World folder. And I'm going to use our text editor called Nano. And I'm going to create my source file, but you got to put the file extension. So Nano and then source.c. So any file that you have with the .c file extension, that means that it's a C program. Okay. So here we have a blank file, and the first thing you want to do is you want to put your name on the file, and you're going to put that in a single line comment. So what you do is you type 2 forward slashes, and then you can put your name on here. Then you can include another single line comment. You can put something like my first C program. Now these comments here, they're supposed to be for the user, for the reader of the code. That way they know what this code's about. So it helps explain what you're doing. So we want to put those there. For those that have already done programming before, you're already familiar with comments. If this is your first time, then just a little bit of practice there. Now, whenever you do a C program, you're always going to type the first thing you're going to type is going to be include, and you're going to type stdio.h. Now this .h file, this .header file, has the code so that way we can do input and output. Right? So what is a computer program? A computer program is going to be a set of instructions to tell the computer to do something. And normally your programs have some sort of input. The user types some sort of information into the program, and then it'll display some sort of output. Now for this first program, it's just going to be pure output. So just to kind of get a little bit of practice here. Now every C program that you write is going to have a main function. So to create a main function, you're going to type it just like this. Okay. So you're going to type int for the return type, the name of the function main, and then here in parentheses this is going to be a parameter list. In this case we don't have any parameters, we don't have any of that, so you don't have to worry about it for now. All you have to do is just put the open and close parentheses. And then all your code that you're going to write for your program is going to go between line 6 and 8, between these curly brackets here. This is an opening bracket, this is a closing bracket. Okay. And then here on line 7, I'm going to press the tab key. So you'll notice that it moved the cursor really far over here. So I like to keep everything tabbed to keep it organized. And this will give us access to certain functions, the stdio.h. The first function is going to give us access to is going to be the printf function, which will print text to the console. Right? So that way we can see some sort of output. We're going to use printf. Right? So I'm going to press tab here, and then I'm going to type printf. This is another function, kind of like main, but this function's already been defined. So all you have to do is put in the parentheses. You put here. So I'm going to put an empty set of parentheses like this, and I'm going to put hello world. Okay. And then I'm going to type a semicolon. So here on line 8, this is called a statement. Every time you type a statement of some sort, you have to end the statement with a semicolon. It's very similar to a sentence in the English language where you write a sentence and then you put a period at the end. Here you got to put a semicolon after each statement. If you forget the semicolon, then your program will not compile. So what is compilation? Once you write your code the way you want it, then you want to get that code and then combine it together to create some sort of application or some sort of program that can be used. In order for you to create that application, your code has to follow a certain format. If it doesn't follow that format, then it'll return an error, and then you go back and you fix it until there's no more errors. Then it'll compile, it'll come together, and then you can share that application with other people. All right. So we use printf to print things to the console or to the screen. And here you have to type at the end of your main function, you always have to type return 0. So this is a return statement because the return type is int. Now, if you haven't done programming before or writing functions, then this may look a little strange to you for now, but don't worry about it too much. Just know that it goes there. And the more we type it, the more comfortable we'll get with it. The main thing we're focusing on is just printing out the word printf hello world here. All right. So this is our first program, and it's not that long. So I'm going to do Control O to save this file. And I'm going to do Control X. Now we have our source code. If I do ls, we have our source code file here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to compile this into a program. So to do that, you're going to type gcc, and then you're going to get your source code file, which is going to be called source.c, and then -o for your output. And I'm going to make an app out of this source code. So my program is going to be called app. You can call it program if you want. You can call it anything you want, really. Call it program or app, and it's getting it from this source code here. So if there's no errors, then this shouldn't bring up any issues here. Okay, so it did compile. Everything looks good. I'll go back, edit the code, make a mistake, and then show you what it looks like. So I'm gonna do /. Now I'm gonna run the program. So I'm gonna do /program. And then you'll see here it says hello world, and then it just kind of runs off like this. All right, so looks okay. We can make some improvements. So I'm going to press the up key. I'm going to go back to my editor right here. I'm going to press enter, and here I'm going to do a new line. So that way, whatever else I type will show up on the bottom of this statement. So it would be like if I press the enter key. So this will create a new line. So I'm going to do /n. So this /n, you won't actually see it when it does the printf. It's just going to create a new line. Okay. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to do another printf, and then you can write something else. Welcome to COSC 1320. And this text here in the quotes, this is called a string, or actually a string literal. So the printf is just printing out whatever's in these double quotes here. If you didn't put these double quotes, then it wouldn't work right. Okay. Now remember, this is another statement on line 9, so I have to put a semicolon. But what happens if I forget? Okay. So I'm going to close Control O. I'm going to press Enter. I'm going to exit. I'm going to compile this program again. So again, I'm going to type the same thing, the GCC, the source code file, -O, and then the name of my program. Now I'm going to try to, every time you make a change to your program or to your code, you have to compile it again. If you forget to compile, then it's just going to show you, it's just going to run the same program as before, right? And it's not going to have any of the changes that you made. So here we're going to compile it, make sure there's no errors. If there's an error, then it won't compile. Okay. So here you'll notice that it has an error. It says expected semicolon before return. So that means you forgot the semicolon. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my editor. I'm going to go back. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to put my semicolon. I'm going to do Control O, Enter, exit. Now I'm going to go back and compile this. If you don't see any errors, then everything's okay. I'm going to go back, /program, and I'm going to press Enter. And then notice it says Hello World. Now it says Welcome to COSC 1320. I forgot the new line here. So I'm going to go back to my program again. I'm going to put the new line. I'm going to put the /n here. And then I'm going to do Control O, press Enter, exit. Now I made that one change. Because I made that one change, I'm going to have to compile it again. And then I'm going to run it one more time. And then now you'll see it says Hello World, welcome to COSC 1320. And that's it. That's it for this code. Right, so I know there's a lot of different things. Let's go back and look at the code real quick. Now, I know this is kind of new for everybody. So there's a lot of things here you may have never seen before. So a little bit of studying you're going to have to do. So remember, these are single line comments here. Single line comments. These are not part of the program. They're just for you to read. They're like study notes. Or they give explanations of what's going on here. In order for you to do the printf, you have to include the stdio. So that stands for standard input output. You got to include this header. Every program that you write in C has to have a main function. And you have to have this where it says return 0. Okay. Now for this program, it's very simple. There is just output. But in our next programs, we're going to have input. We're going to process some information. So the user is going to give us some numbers. We're going to add them together. Then we're going to display the sum. So there's going to be a lot of things that we're going to do. Right? But first, you got to memorize this information. So that way, when you're going to write your programs, you already know to type all this out. Okay. So that's going to be it for this example. It's very simple, not too complex. If you have any issues, please don't hesitate to contact me. And I'll help you out. Alright? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.